Hello Internet, this is Benedek here, very welcome to my channel. In today's episode I would like to deal with writing a very simple character controller script in Unity. So let's just open up Unity Hub and then our project, and we will write basic logic with which we can just move our little cube. Now here we go. The Unity Hub is just started up and we can start our simple 3D tutorial game project. Now Unity is just started, and now we can go and do something else. Instead of rotating our cube, we would like to move it actually with the arrow keys on the keyboard. So to do that, we need to create a new script which will handle the movements. Which will actually tell Unity how to move this object. So go ahead to the scripts folder, right click, create a new C# script. Let's say like cube controller. Okay. Now it's loaded up. Here we can just go and delete that start method since we don't want to use it. And we can also get rid of this comment here, and we should use the update method because that is the one which is called at every frame, and we are willing to create a continuous movement. So we can say something like if statement, like so. And we can type in input get key to get a key on the keyboard, and if I'm going to type up, then it will be my up arrow. So it is checking if the up arrow key is pressed, and if it is, then we would like to rotate, or not rotate, but we would like to move this cube. Now actually first, here in the scenes view, we should just go to the cube. Now, how I did it? Well, here, if you just double click one game object in the hierarchy, then it will get focus, or if you just select it and hit F on your keyboard, it will also get focus on it. So what I should do now, I would like to have a terrain. Now, basically, if I would create a game, actually, not just a little demo app, then I would like to probably go for 3D objects, and I would create a terrain, and we could just customize it. I believe that will be the actual task of the upcoming video next day, but for today I think we should just go for something like a plane. Actually, now we have created a plane. We should zero out the position, but it's already like that. So we should just bring our little cube up a little bit, like so. And now I want the physics to be applied to this cube, actually. So how can I do that? Here in the inspector panel, I can go for add component, and I can just type in something like rigid body. Now if I add a rigid body, then it will be affected by physics. Okay, so as it's affected by physics, we can see that if I hit play, now it's it will just fall down actually. Okay, now probably we should assign a different color for these for the plane and for the cube as well. So go to the assets folder, right click, create, and we should create a material. Or no, actually we would like to create first a folder for the materials, because I would like to keep everything nice and neat. So here we go. Let's say something like cube material, and if I want to just duplicate this game object or this material, I can go and hit Ctrl plus D for duplicating it, and it will be duplicated. You can see in the inspector panel that it has the cube material 1 name, and this was the original one. And if I want to rename it, I can just hit F2 on my keyboard, and I can rename it like plane material, but I can call it whatever I want. Now, for the cube, I would like to assign a color of, let's say, red, and the plane could be like this kind of blue. Okay, and how can we assign it to those game objects? Well, I can just drag to this scene view, and now it is assigned properly, as you can see it. And you can see that here actually something is weird with the position of that plane, or actually not with that plane, but with the main camera. So probably I would like to place it a little bit up, so we can see it in a different angle, and I guess that's good now. So if I hit play, you can see that it is just falling down because it's affected by physics. Okay, now what I can now do is I would like to make this cube controller script work. So if yes, I've already created the first if statement. So if input get key up is true, which means the player hits the up arrow on the keyboard. In this case, I would like to move this object by doing something like transform. So I'm just getting the transform component of this button, or sorry, of this cube. Now I could just basically type in get component transform, but if I assign this cube controller directly to that game object as a component, I do not even have to do so. So I can just go for transform dot translate, and I can just pass in a new vector free, and I can tell Unity to which direction I would like it to go. So I would like to move it on the X scale probably, because remember that this is the X one, this is the Y, and yes, so the X is the red one. So here, if I will move it to the positive, to the positive direction, then it means actually it's going to the right, but that's not what we want. So I want when the up key is pressed to be affected in this axis. So this is the Z axis. So I should move it on the Z scale. So yes, it is 0, 0, and 1 by 1 times time dot delta time, which means we make it frame rate independent. Okay, now I would like to just create the other ones. So when the down key is pressed, in that case, I would like to make it go to the opposite direction. So I also wanted to move on the z-axis, but now I would like to make it negative. Okay, and I can just copy and paste this to one, and I can say something like right and left, and I can now see that this is the axis in which I want to move my game object. So here, instead of this, I should affect this one, and here the same, but the negative one. And here we go. We've just created our very first little basic character controller script. So if I jump back to Unity and wait until it recompiles, we can see that there are no errors. These are just internal errors because these coming from system diagnostics. So if I can clear them, these aren't coming from our scripts. And here we go. It is assigned to our game object. So let's just hit the play button and see if it works. So if I'm moving it, yes, it is actually working fine. Okay, so now I can move this game object around with my keys, with my arrow keys on my keyboard, and everything is working nice and neat. And even if I hit this rotation button, I can even rotate it, and I can, move this object at once. So what if I would like to have my camera to follow my game object? I would like to do something like of a first person view. I could just basically write a camera follow script and attach it to the main camera, and this would be the best way. Actually, it would be very smooth, but for a very simple but working solution, I can just drag my main camera and assign it under the cube, which is our player now. And if I hit save and I hit the play button, in that case, now when we are moving our little cube, let's see that yes, actually the camera, the angle we view it is also changing. Cool. Now, but if I want to see exactly, so everything exactly from the point of view of the cube, I can go for this main camera and I can hit this little icon and say something like reset, and it will reset the position to this main camera to be attached to the cube's one. So if I hit play now, then I will see the exactly the same which is attached to this game object. Okay, cool. And if I hit rotate, then you can see that we can rotate, and yes, now we are falling down. Okay, so guys, that's it for today's episode. I hope you liked this video. If so, please give me a thumbs up and please subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and we will meet in the next video. Bye.